Dun, 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 dun. Hello, my crafty friends. Oh, do we have Mike on the screen? Walk, walk, walk. I think we already tested that, didn't we? All right, let's get Colleen on board. And it's 10 o'clock, and we are ready to Tuesday live. So you have to let me know, Susan, people start popping up, and then
eyeballs coming on.
Active eyeballs. Is that what you said, or did you say 2 eyeballs?
A couple of eyeballs.
A couple of eyeballs. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome. Oh, I'm going to turn this down so that we don't hear every little noise that comes out of here while we're. All right. Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday Live. And Tuesday, the Totally Tiffany Tuesday Tribe. Boom, boom, boom. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm so glad that I'm here because, as you guys know, I totally look forward to Tuesdays. So for those of you who are just popping on right now, I'm thinking about, someone brought up a couple of weeks ago about doing a podcast that wasn't, well, I talked about doing a podcast and I got some ideas about what that might look like. So I just wanted to kind of give you an update on that it is something that I'm really considering doing, maybe launching in the new year, where it'll be separate from crafting and just more of a lifestyle, maybe some organization involved in there, obviously, because it's part of who I am, but just maybe doing some interviews with other women, maybe women in business or people who are retired. There's a whole bunch of us heading into that empty nest period of our lives right now and how we're handling that and what we're doing. So I just want to let you know, I haven't forgotten about it, or I'm still working it through, but I think it'd be super fun. And it would give me an opportunity to sort of talk about some other things that I'm passionate about. So I am on that. All right, let's talk about this week though. Tuesday Live. What is it today? I don't usually start with the big news right up front, but it is a $10 Tuesday. So if you haven't checked out the $10 special right now, I will talk about them really quickly, but I believe that one of them might already be sold out. I have it on my table here to bring up, but Susie's going to pop in and look and check on it. She's a master of searching things out when I mention them. So I need to get her a big iPad to use here instead of her phone. All right, so let's start with that. Oh, hang on a second. Colleen's popping things up on my screen here. Hello, Colleen. Aisha Dennison, welcome back, Aisha. I hope I'm saying your name right all the time. Looking forward to another great lesson on organizing not only my crafty items, but with everything in my home. Tiffany's products are just the best. Checking in from New Jersey. Welcome from Jersey. I hope the weather is decent there, not too chilly. It is a little bit cold here in Arizona, but we do have the sun, and there's nothing to shovel here, which is also great from that. But we are a little, Susie came in today in a jacket and a long sleeve shirt. I'm going to drag her up to say hi today. So everybody hang on for that. You get to meet Susie in the real world. Well, in the video world, but you get to see her actually. She's not just a voice echoing from behind the camera or a hand moving forward. Okay, so $10 Tuesday going on right now. Don't miss out. I'll quickly just go through what's on there. Purple Lois tote. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to buy a Lois tote for yourself, or maybe you want to add one to somebody else's Christmas list, or you need one going forward for your organization plans 2022, $10. So that's a smoking deal. This is what I think might be sold out. So this is the 4x1 scrap rack storage page. So it has a 12x12 pocket on the back. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Kidding.
Sorry, joking. Those are gone. Those are sold out. The thing about $10 Tuesdays, when you see that little email come through, you just got to hop right on there, because that is the craziness of what happens on $10 Tuesday. The A26, which are our paper storage boxes, the cardboard version of the paper storage boxes, that comes in a set of 5. Those are on sale $10 Tuesday today. I'm going to talk a little bit more about these when I address another question in the questions from today, but that's a great deal. I think they're normally like $16 or $18 and they're $10. So that's an awesome bundle. And then of course they work with all our other 12 by 12, the dividers. Sorry, I made a mess here. Dividers and pockets, those all fit in there, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that today when I get to the questions. The 8-drawer storage and supply case, which is this little guy. So unique to this particular bag is the depth, right? It's a lot shallower than the other bags. It was designed, with my good friend Stephanie Bernard and her mini ink pads, which are down the center here, but great for all different types of smaller ink pads, anything like that. Just open it up here and kind of give you so you've got your tiny drawers, and then it makes it really easy to just pull those things out that you want to work with. So great for ink pads, ink dots, any of the squares that I've tried fit in there. So there's some Stampin' Up, some Tim Holtz, which is a common question I get. Do the Tim Holtz squares fit in there? Absolutely. The chalks, the square chalks fit in there, all that. So, and then it's great for this is just loaded up with sewing tools. This one I have a paint by number book in the back and a bunch of paint brushes. So the depth of this bag, for those who are unfamiliar with it, it's designed so that there's a gap between the edge of the top of the tray. Let me go back here. The top of the tray and the top of the bag. And the reason for that is because it was designed to hold these ink pads. So we left the tray a little bit shallow because then it was easier. You had something to grab onto with that ink pad, right, when you pulled out the tray. But that also gives you a gap in the bag, so you can add things like a coloring book or paper, drawing paper, painting paper, anything like that to sort of fill up that gap. And so with mine, I just put that book in the back. So there is the tray underneath. Let's see if I can pull this out with the tray. So there is this tray underneath that all the little drawers sit on. And I just put the coloring book or paper or whatever else I'm transporting in there, sewing pattern, anything like that under between the bag and the tray. And it pushes, what that does is push the shallow trays up against the front of the bag. So it makes it easy, right, to keep everything contained. So daubers, all that good stuff, a perfect fit in there. So the 8-drawer storage and supply case, also part of the bundle of the $10 Tuesday today. Okay, other announcements. Of course, tonight I'm going to do a Tuesday live or a Facebook Live with Suzanne Runyon. She does a Getting Crafty with Suzanne on her Facebook HSN feed, and so we've got a link for that. And Colleen, I'm sure will throw that up. And Colleen, just so you know, it was the last minute, but I did send a bunch of links to you, so that'll make it easier for you, hopefully. Sorry, I waited. I totally forgot that I did it, and then I didn't get it sent out. Also, Saturday is a craft house day. So that is a Totally Tiffany takeover on Crafters TV Craft House. Always fun, always great deals. I think I'm working with Joe on that show, and he's really kind of a riot to work with as well. So if you haven't tuned in for Craft House, you definitely want to join us on Saturday for that event. And again, Colleen will put up a link so you can know for your time zone what time that is. I believe for us here, it's 11 to 1. Does that sound right, Susie? I think it starts at 11 here. It might be noon. And then you can go.
I think it might be noon because you told me 11:30.
Okay. So it starts at noon here, Mountain Time. So 11 Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern, and on and on. And again, Colleen will throw up a link to that so you can find it. I know some of you have asked questions about where do I find that? How do I get to Crafters TV? There is no direct link from the Totally Tiffany website, although Meg is working on that today. And so hopefully we will get a link added there. But on the Crafters Companion website, from the main menu bar all the way over on as you're looking at your computer screen, all the way over on the right side, you'll see a little thing that says Crafters TV. When you click on that, you'll get there. And then just look for Craft House in the show list. And that's where we'll be on Saturday. Oh, also in today on the specials page is a really great buddy bag bundle where you're saving almost $10. That's like getting one of the buddy bags free. Again, if you're looking for that to get organized in 2022, these are some great deals to have everything you need to jump in and meet your organization goals. Or Christmas presents, yes. So especially buddy bags, and they work for everybody. So, along with that, now that Susie brought up Christmas, she came to work this morning, in her Christmas pink T-shirt and all.
Didn't everybody have Christmas?
Just you and me, I think, my friend. Just you and I. So get up here, Susie, and say hi to everybody. So she came in and I was like, I need that jewelry. I need that shirt. And you probably can't see her shirt. I don't know. She's tall, but she'll be good next year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wasn't so good this year.
She said, it's not going to be that good. No, you got to say, tell us about your daughter really quickly.
Well, hang on.
She got to get her phone.
Gotta get my phone.
So
you set it up.
So I have been really kind of a maniac. Like my goal next year is to really get the studio dialed in and all that stuff. And so I've been cleaning things out and paring things down. So I have these carts and some other accessories. And I said to Susie, do you need any of these things? Do you want them? And she said,
ooh, my daughter would. She needs them. So
we loaded up her car last week.
And I sent pictures to my daughter who lives in Phoenix. And I'm going to see her this Friday and take them to her. And she was like, oh, wowza. Thank you, Tiffany. Oh, man, this is going to be a huge help in my office. So
we're going to get some before and afters from Susie when you get there.
It's going to take a lot of work.
So we'll share them maybe on Facebook next week or in the Get Organized Challenge group next week. The Get Organized Challenge group, that's probably something I should mention. That group is changing to a private group. So if you are somebody who has been able to, read the posts and check out the information on the Get Organized Challenge page, you will need to join the group now to be able to do that. So please, it's very easy to join. You just click join and you answer a couple of questions so we can verify that you're actually a person and not a robot or whatever they're spot bot, whatever they're called. And then you're in. So please sign up to join the Get Organized Challenge group. Maybe Colleen could put a link up to that as well. And that way you'll be able to still get the content and the information and all the other stuff that gets posted there. But it is going to switch over to, I don't know when, it's soon, to a private group. So please don't miss out on anything. Join us in that Facebook group. All right, let's see. Barbara Carlson, hi Barb. Barb says she has her mini distressings in the 8-drawer bag. Carol Ann Hanley, TT Craft House Takeover, woohoo! Always fun. Aisha, you two look great with the pink. See, we're the pink team here. And hi Anita. Anita says, I'm definitely going to be getting some more buddy bags to pack up my supplies for moving back to the U.S. next year. Sorry, I'm reading. I read ahead of what my mouth is saying. So buddy bags, great way to travel with things. Scrap rack, also a really easy way to move your products around. My sister, for those of you who may be military families, my sister, I think some of you have heard this story. She had an entire craft room of boxes and bins and totes and drawers and things everywhere that were all scrapbooking, paper crafting. And when she got ready to move to Italy, that's right about the same time that the scrap rack was coming into being. And she was like, oh, it won't work, this. And we literally loaded multiple bases of scrap racks. But when she was moving, she took them off the scrap rack. She stood them up in these big Rubbermaid totes. The movers sealed them up. She took them to Italy. When she got there, she popped up the base, threw the spinders back on, Bob's your uncle, and she was done. So it's a great way to move things around. Also just going, some people take a base with events, but in the big picture, if you have a lifestyle where you move, a lot of scrap rack is a lifesaver in that respect too. So I don't know if Anita has one or not, but it might be time to consider the scrap rack if you've not got one, Anita. And Colleen says that the group has switched over to a private group already. So please, if you want to know what's going on in the Get Organized Challenge, please sign up or register in that group or whatever it is, whatever it's called. All right, so let's talk questions. So the first thing I wanted to start with is congratulations to Katie Koo, who just is in the process of finishing up her she shed or her own little, I would call it a casita, but I think she's in the UK, so it might be a little bit damp for to be called a casita there. But she has got her own craft shed in her yard, and it looks adorable. I can't wait to see the inside of it when it's all done. But congratulations to you. And she had mentioned, how do I start getting organized? Which tied in really nicely with Christine Rebert, who said, how to handle an overwhelming room full of stuff. Stamps, paper crafting, when you have no surface on which to sort, not even much floor. I guess, I mean, how do I start under those circumstances? So probably the best news I can share with you, Christine, and anybody else who's feeling like they just are closed in their space, is that you're not alone. And it's really common to just feel like I don't even have enough space to organize. How can I get started and have that sense of being overwhelmed? It's not fun. So there's a couple things. The first thing is you have to remember that your brain, visually, when you walk into a space that's full, your brain starts to shut down right away, right? It starts going through this process of, oh my gosh, there's so many things to do. I don't even know where to start. I don't have any room. Like all these things, they're not uncommon. It doesn't matter if it's a closet, if it's your craft room, if it's the garage. For some people, it's the glove box of their car, right? You just look and there's so many things, and then your brain starts firing off reasons why you're not going to get it done, or what putting up these blocks, right? You close the door, go do laundry. It's way more fun. So the first thing I want to tell you is you're not alone, and it's not an uncommon feeling to just be like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. One of the best pieces of advice I can give you is to remove the visual clutter. And you can't do that in your room, it doesn't sound like. So you're going to have to take your organizing project somewhere that's not visually cluttered and finish that project, and then put those pieces back into the space in your room. What do I mean by that? I mean that, I'm going to pull these over here. So these are the paper storage boxes that are on special today. They come like this, nice and neat and flat and small, right? Even if you're using something like our paper handlers or our fab files or something that's a more permanent structured organizer in your room for paper, having a set of these available that you can pop up and use to sort not just paper, but stickers, projects, anything like that. And if you think about them as an organization tool that you're going to set up and use, and then you're going to put them away, some of you will store in them. The paper, I guess I should talk about that just as an aside. The paper storage boxes work great on shelves as permanent storage, but they're not great for pulling off and on the shelves, right? The plastic, the handlers, the paper handlers, those are designed, obviously they have handles, they're more sturdy, they're thicker, they're designed for more portability. The paper storage boxes are more for, I'm going to line up this shelf with these boxes, get everything organized, and they're going to stay there, right? They're not as durable as the plastic. There's a couple different reasons to have them, and one of them is, if you're not permanently leaving them, to just use them when you're actually organizing something. So what I mean, Christine, is take some paper storage boxes. You might need all 5. You might just need 1 to start with, and take a stack of paper and go somewhere where all you see is that stack of paper and those paper storage boxes, and organize that little box right there. Maybe it's your dining room table. Maybe you're going to do it in front of TV at the coffee table, right? Don't look at this whole big room and think about organizing the whole big room. Think about that one tiny piece doing one thing. So you can literally pop up one of the paper storage boxes, right? And they just fold up. They're like, so many of our other things in terms of fold on the score, like everything else. Fold on the score. Pop them together. And there are instructions printed on the bottom of the box for how to put them together, but it's pretty simple. And now you can just use this as a file, right? You might add some dividers to help you get going. So these are the 12 by 12 pockets. winter, spring, summer, fall. And now you can sort that pile of paper, whether you're doing it into themes, sentiments, calendar year, or rainbow, in this small little area in that box. Once that box is full, you've still got more paper. Then get another box, put that second box together. And then, sorry, I'm doing this backwards. Put this fold. Here we go. Fold on the score, fold on the score, fold on the score. And then you can add the second box, divide, and keep filing. So you're staying contained. There's two really important things going on here. First thing is that you're filing vertically, which is faster and easier. And the second thing is you're keeping your organization project contained in a small area. So when you need to clean it up, when you need to put it away, it isn't stuff spread out all over your house or all over the floor or across the entire dining room table. It's one small area, and that's so important for your brain, right? Your brain gets overwhelmed when it sees lots to do, and then it has to start segmenting, like, how am I going to break this down, right? You can do the same exercise with photos, with stickers, with embellishments. Take a small chunk away from all the visual clutter and organize that one thing. And what you'll find is as you pulled out this much paper out of your craft room, that left an empty space on a shelf or on a counter. Now, when you bring this back in, now those things are organized. So as you take things out and sort them, you're also creating space to return things into that organized only area, which we talk about a lot in challenge number 1 of the Get Organized challenge, a little bit in challenge number 2 as well. Really creating an empty space where you organize things and then put them back. And the beautiful thing about it is it doesn't have to be a huge space. It can literally be a 12 by 12 square of space on a shelf, or you put your 12 by 12 paper back, right? And as you move through. So my biggest piece of advice to anybody that's feeling overwhelmed about any project is figure out how you can remove the visual clutter. This is, again, huge with photos. Like, some people look at this wall of photo storage boxes that they need to get through when they can't even get started. Take a box off the shelf, go somewhere else where you don't have all that visual clutter, and it'll be so much easier to work through that. And then what happens? For those of you who've been following me for a long time, you've heard me say this over and over again. What happens is your brain lights up, right? You have this sense of accomplishment, and you have this understanding of, look what I did. I can do this. It's not as hard as I thought. And all of those reactions in your head make it easier to stay motivated and inspired to do the next thing, right? You're getting all this positive feedback, so it makes it simple to keep moving forward. So try to eliminate the overwhelm. That is my biggest piece of advice when you've got that kind of project. And also know that you're not alone. I mean, it's very common, that feeling, that sense of being overwhelmed. Okay, let's see. Who am I missing here? Switch already. Janet Stark says, any news about spiders? This is like almost becoming a comical. I talked about spiders again this morning in my Tuesday meeting. They exist in the US warehouse. I said, can we at least get them over to scrapbook.com? So we're working diligently on that. It seems like such a small thing, but it's something that every Tuesday I say this, this comes up. This is a core item. We really need to get it resolved. So it is in the works. There is a plan. It's just my push right now is let's get it on scrapbook.com. So I wish I had a better answer. I feel like that's the same answer I give every week, but please know that I haven't. So we have a running agenda for Tuesday meetings, and it's in bold font every Tuesday at the top. So I am doing the best I can to get it done, and we're on it. Or we're paying attention to it. I believe it's going to happen. I don't know where you are either. Maybe I'll try and get some at the Mesa show. If you're in the US and you're planning on going to any of the scrapbook shows this year, you just pop in as a comment and tell us, yes, I'm planning on going, or which one you're planning on going to. I'm just generally curious if people are going back to the shows, looking forward to the shows. If you've never been to a show, are you thinking about attending one. They really are a ton of fun, and we just have a great time at them. So let me know if you're thinking about that as well. Be Creative, BEE Creative, is carrying a lot of the Totally Tiffany product line in her booth. The owner's name is Karen this year. So hopefully we might be able to plug a few things in that are kind of high demand items that she might be able to have those available for you at a show if you're going to the show. Okay, let's see.
We've got somebody asking, when is the Mesa show?
When is the Mesa show? I believe it's March 3rd and 4th, or March 4th and 5th. I didn't actually write down the dates of it on my thing, but I know Colleen has a link. She can put it up. That's for the class, because I am teaching a class on Friday and Saturday in Mesa at the show. And I believe it's the first weekend of March. They're Friday, Saturday, most of the shows. So it'll be, there's a Friday class and a Saturday class. And it's really for those of you who are thinking, oh, I've taken Tiffany's other classes, I'm going to pop in and take that. I would absolutely love to have you, but it is an overwhelmed to organize class, which is kind of the big picture about getting organized. So, I'd love to have you, but I want you to, it's the foundational class rather than sort of detailed classes. So just kind of so you know that. But if you are going to be at Mesa, I am going to be in the Be Creative booth, and it would be fun to do something, right, to get to meet you. And maybe we'll have a Totally Tiffany breakfast or happy hour or something. I'll see if I can't work that out. Where for those of you who are coming to the show, we could get together and just be so nice to see people in the real world again, right? So I'm going to make a little note about that. Mesa show meetup. All right. Well, Susie's laughing about something.
Get tipsy with Totally Tiffany.
Susie says we should promote it as Get Tipsy with Totally Tiffany. All right. And that's the joy of Uber. Keep that in mind also. Okay. All right. So hopefully, Christine, that is going to help you a little bit of advice there. Let me take a quick look here. Yolanda Sanchez says, what buddy bag would be good for packing little baby items to keep them organized in the car or the diaper bag, just like extra pacifiers, socks, etc.? Boy, probably like the Merle bag, right? Because Merle has the little flaps at the end, so it's going to keep everything in there, and it's long. Here's Merle right here. This one is full of dog supplies, pet supplies. But dropping it into a diaper bag vertically, and then you could have all the little things in there. But Merle has the flaps at the end. Oh, she's part of the bundle today too. Has the flaps at the end. So if you have small things, they're not going to slide out the end, right? So Edna's the same bag, but she doesn't have this little, what I call the ear flap. So when you tip her vertically, if you have tiny things, they can come out the flap. So Merle's probably a great choice. And probably Merle, or I'm trying to think what other, it's been a long time since I've had babies in my life to worry about, but probably Merle, because she opens up too and you would see that whole thing. But little things like socks and little hats and that kind of cute stuff, that would all fit in there perfectly. So a perfect accessory for that. Peggy Kieran. Hi, Peggy. Will the rotating design board support the Gemini Junior as a turntable? Boy, I certainly think it will. Where is my Gemini Junior? On the shelf right there. Oh, it's at the top. Susie, could you grab the Gemini that's at the top right here? And I will grab this. So the white one. That one, yeah, and they're heavy.
Is that not the same as this one?
It's smaller. That one's smaller at the top. Okay. This is a regular Gemini.
I was trying to make it easier.
Yeah.
They are heavy.
They're heavy, yeah. So here we go. Oh, yeah. There's your Junior, my friend. It fits perfectly on the rotating design board. So, one of the nice things about having it on that rotator, too, is as that plate comes out the back, right, you can rotate it to grab the plate out of the back instead, not like it's that hard to reach around, but it is kind of convenient to do that. If you're using the desk-made die file, I'm going to move this out of the way here for a second. If you're using the desk-made die file, you can easily put this on top of the die file as well, the rotating design board in your junior. And that would be an easy way to kind of have that all together. You know what else works great? The vinyl roll organizer trays or the slide stash and store trays are a great way to store your plates for your Gemini or Gemini Junior. So if you're looking for a place to store those, that could be good. You know what else would probably work really well for those plates would be the zero drawer, the paper taker, 8.5 by 11. If I have one down here, paper taker, that's an 8 by 8. That's empty. I don't think I do. Darn it. Here's one with stuff in it though. So this is the A4 8.5 by 11 paper taker. I believe it is in stock right now. So this is a great place to store your plates and then just kind of keep everything together. I actually have my cords and cables in a buddy bag as well. So depending on how you store your Gemini, putting your cords and cables into like a Monica bag, or if they're bigger, my Cricut cables are actually in either the Edna, I'm trying to see over there because they're a little bit bigger, the Edna bag or the Merle bag, but it's a great way to store all those things and have everything together and easy access, easy to get to, all that kind of goodness in one place. So super easy solution there. But yeah, great question, and it works great. I'll spin it while we're talking today just to make sure nothing, but it will hold a regular one. So definitely the weight isn't going to be a problem there. All right. Daniel Lucas says, hi from New Jersey. I absolutely love the Fab Files. I'm waiting for more of them to come in the mail to continue with organizing my clear stamps. They're perfect. I'm so glad you love those. They are a great accessory for clear stamps, especially the 5x7 size. And then we do have the taller sizes. Now, a little sneak peek on that. There is going to be an 8x5 version of that, I think, coming out. So if you have the paper doll stamps, the taller, stamp sets and that type of thing, those are going to fit really nicely in the 8x5. So also the 9x6, the Kirsten bag works well for those. But if you like the Fab Files, there is an 8x5 on its way. All right, let's see. What do we have here? And Danielle says, my paper storage boxes have been a lifesaver. It is amazing going vertical with your paper. It's the best way to do it. Patty Salinas, organizing craft room has been contagious to other rooms. Going to need lots more TT products. It is, I think, once you get your brain, Susie and I were just talking about this actually before we started today, was that like how it sort of spills over and also how it's a natural ability for some people, like doing math or speaking a foreign language is easy for some people and it's more difficult for others. And so once you get those steps in your brain, it simplifies that whole process, right? You didn't just apply the same theories everywhere. Like we were talking about with Christine's craft room being overwhelming. Sometimes your kitchen cabinets look overwhelming, or underneath the bathroom sink or your closet. And if you can just take those small steps, no matter where it is in your house, you're going to be able to get organized, and then life gets easier. Suzanne Merica. Hi, Suzanne. How are you? I'm so glad that you're here today. I use the cardboard paper storage boxes and am in and out of them all the time, depending on the theme. You said there was a better paper storage box to use if I'm moving. What is that better solution? Sorry, I missed what you said. The 12 by 12 paper handler. These just came back in stock also. So these are just a lot more sturdy, and they're actually designed to be moved around, right? So the cardboard paper storage boxes, great in your IKEA cube, great on a shelf. If the shelves open at the end, you need to bookend them. But the paper handler line was designed, it has kind of a little foot at the bottom, which helps it stay steady, even though you have the bottom that folds in. And then, of course, they have the handles like all the paper handlers do. So they're easy to move around. They're easy to take off the shelf and drop into your lowest tote or drop into your rolling tote or whatever it is. They're just that much more, they're designed for transport, where these are designed to stay on a shelf. So just the paper handlers. And again, paper handlers come in 6x6 8.5 by 11 A4, and then 12 by 12. So depending on the size that you're using, they're a great solution for that. And right now, they're back in stock. Hallelujah. Denise Owens, awesome tips as always. Love Totally Tiffany. I'm so glad that you're here, Denise. Thanks for tuning in. Sandra Farina, thanks for explaining the brain blocks when feeling overwhelmed when trying to tackle organization. It's the same. And there's a great book out, which I've talked about before. It's called The Willpower Instinct. And it isn't about organization in general, but it's by a professor at Stanford named Kelly McGonigal. I don't get any kickback on it, but it was a very valuable book for me in just understanding. When I first started teaching organization, I guess even before I started teaching, I didn't think people needed help getting organized because it was a natural skill set, right? It was something my mom used to say, born with. And I can't speak French or do math, so I'm out on those counts. But this is something that was a very natural ability to me. I'm not an athlete. I got none of that. I got this one thing. And so I didn't really think people needed it. And when my sister convinced me by literally pointing my face into her room, like, look at your space, look at my space. Some of us need help. I started doing a lot of research into how the brain works and why it's easy for me to be organized and the challenges that other people face. And that's how I found this book, The Willpower Instinct. And it talks about how willpower affects your life. And one of the key things, probably one of the biggest takeaways for me, was that willpower is limited, right? You can literally use it up in a day or in an hour or whatever. You have your brain function. It's tough. I don't know if you all know this, but your brain burns the most calories of anything in your body in a non-athletic way, right? When you're just talking about how much energy it takes to keep your brain going, it takes a lot of calories to run your brain, basically. And so just like a running out of energy from anything else, you can run out of energy to power your brain, and that's where your willpower falls apart. So this is a great book about just understanding willpower and how to really make the most of what you have. But the most important thing was recognizing that in fact does happen, that you can just run out of willpower and everything just goes into a kind of a downhill slide from there, to the point that when I read that book, I used to travel a lot previously for work, and China was a regular place that I would go, and it was exhausting. It took an exhausting amount of brain power to be in a country that foreign, that everything is foreign, right? The food, the language, everything. And that's hard on your brain. It takes a lot of energy. And so I would get home and literally be completely depleted of brain power, of willpower. And then my kids would ask me things like they would want me to make these decisions. And it took me a couple of trips before I realized that my children had keyed into the fact that if they asked me something right when I got home from one of these trips, I was so out of power in my head, I would just coalesce, or I would say yes, or I would agree to things that I would never agree to. And I had to make a rule. I can't do it. I can't make decisions for 24 hours after I get home. But okay, so the book, The Willpower Instinct, Kelly McGonigal, a great read, easy read, well-written, fun, good stories. So if you're looking for improving your own willpower, or at least understanding your own willpower, I would definitely recommend that. And I don't know how good of a searcher Colleen is on Amazon, but I'm happy to throw up a link to it. The Willpower Instinct. It's definitely, it was a simple book that changed a lot about how I perceive things. And I guess to circle back, for me to help understand how to, for lack of a better term, get my message across to people, right? Like, why does it make sense to me, these things, and it's other people it doesn't make sense to? And that was really helpful to me to understand that, and so that you understand some days you just can't do it, right? Take the China excuse and just don't do it. All right. Rosalind Russell said, buying the 8-drawer storage and supply case today for my electronics drawer. Ooh, I love to see how that works out. So make sure and share a picture with us, Rosalind. M. Klein says, Any way I can purchase the divided inserts for the buddy bags? I don't need the bags because I don't travel, but I have drawers and bins that need organization. I don't know if you know this or not, but that is one of the things that I am really working on and trying to get through the process with Crafter's Companion. I think that SVG files that you could cut on your Cricut with the right kind of materials so you could customize your drawers or your totes or whatever it is that you need, right? Those little boxes and bins for. So I am on that mission, and I think it'd be a great way to do that. We don't actually sell them because there are just so many, like all the sizes are just a little bit different, little this, little that. But I agree that there's a lot of value there, and I'm on it to try and help. Now, here's another idea. I don't know if you craft with other people and they might want the bags, or if there's other uses for the bags. So like the drawers inside the storage and supply cases, this size, right? The 8.5 by 11, they do hold 8.5 by 11 paper or A4 paper, both. So you could use the drawers somewhere else and still use the bag to hold sort and organize paper. So I don't know if that's an option for you, or maybe you have a friend who wants the bag, and then you could take the drawers out of it. Maybe that would work. But I agree that there's a need for it, especially if you can kind of customize them to fit your space exactly. So I am working on that. I'm on it. Sandra Opitech. I purchased 10 packages of Fab File A4 pockets to use for my 8.5 by 11 paper takers. Just found out the pockets don't fit. Can you please explain why? And maybe we can get a smaller pocket to fit the 8 by 11 paper taker. The 8 by 11 paper taker was not designed originally to hold paper. It was designed for, it's a great question. It was designed for as part of the storage and supply cases. And what happened was when I got these, if you'll remember when they first came out, there was no storage and supply case that didn't have drawers. They all had the drawers in them. But then, as so often happens, you guys got your hands on them, started taking the drawers out and using them in other places. And then you had the bag, which fit A4 8.5 by 11 paper. And so then it became the zero drawer is what it's called, became a paper taker that you could transport paper in. And then we realized, hey, you can't fit the pockets or dividers in there because they weren't designed with that in mind. So, well, I don't have a smaller pocket on the way. We do have a larger paper taker. So the new paper takers will fit the A4 8.5 by 11 file pockets. My advice to you, though, is to get the pockets that you bought that are a little bit too long, trim the end off, and then use your heat tool if you've got one, like the fuse tool or a wood burner. I think I talked a little bit about this with scrap rack pockets the other day, and reseal that end. So it'll still fit your scraps. It's not going to fit, well, it probably will fit 8.5 by 11 paper because they're still longer, but you can trim up those files that you have. I'm sorry, I know this isn't the optimal solution. You can trim up those files that you have. The other thing is you could trim one end off the file and still use the pockets, right? Because when you pull it out, even if the pocket is open on one end, it's actually going to function nicely to fold back that pocket and get your scraps out versus, let me see if I can, do I have a set of pockets right here? I thought I did. Here. So everybody knows what we're talking about. Okay. Ooh. So this is a pocket. Do you think I have a pair of scissors right here? No, because there's no tool bag on my back shelf. Susie, could you grab me a pair of scissors? There's multiples on my desk to the left of the computer. In that, right? Yes. There's probably, yeah, it's probably a pair sitting there. So it's all right. Susie just said little bitty, and so immediately, it's all right to be little bitty, little hometown or a big old city. If you're not a country music fan, you have no idea what that's about. Okay, so here's the pocket. Yeah. If you trim it off just a little bit, which it doesn't take much at the end, you might be able to cut it straighter with something and then freehand scissor. So now you've still got the pocket functionality, but when you have something in there, you can still pull it up by the tab, but then you could fold this down to easily get to even the smaller things that are in the bottom. So I know that's not the ideal solution, but it's a solid solution. It'll work really well. And I know it doesn't help because we've reversed it, right? We're not making smaller pockets. We're making a bigger bag to fit the pockets that exist. But I think it'll work. Try it. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are. There may be other people out there that have the same question, and we can get that answered for them as well. Okay, let's see. Jackie Noel says, what storage would work best for Doodlebug paper frills? I have been trying to find the best way to store them. I don't know what that is. Susie, can you pull that up? Doodlebug, it's all one word. It's a super cute paper crafting company. If you're unfamiliar with Doodlebug, they absolutely do the cutest things ever. I don't know what a paper frill is, but as soon as I do, I will answer that for you. In the meantime, let's bump over here to talk about Mary Ellen Brown, who asks, will the 12 by 18 fab files be available again? I have 11 by 15, 11 by 17 paper that's just laying on a table. I've checked many places, but find only 12 by 18 that you can't see through and have lids that wouldn't be conducive to putting on a site. Please. I'm pushing on the 12 by 18 fab files as well. I'm going to tell you what the problem with them is. I think we went over this before. They're so big, even flat, right, that shipping them is troublesome. So one of the things I proposed to Crafter's Companion is that we do them in packs of 3 or 4. So a 12 by 18 fab file costs you about $9, I think, $10, $9.99 probably. Well, shipping that is like $16 because a little lesson in shipping for the moment. When you ship things, if it's lightweight, it doesn't ship only by the weight. It ships by what's called dimensional weight. So something that's small and lightweight might be, $1.50 to ship, but the same weight thing that's big is going to ship by dimensional weight, which means they multiply the length time the width time the depth, and then you pay for that space, right? So it becomes really expensive. That is the problem with the 12 by 18 fab file. So I'm working that from the angle of, can we at least bring these in as a one-time deal, or annually we'll bring in a load of them and sell them in packs of 3 or 4. And then now we've got the price up from $9.99 to be like $29.99 for 3 of them. And then it's easier to justify the shipping on something. That's kind of what that is the whole problem with it. It's a great product. It's easy to work with. It solves a lot of problems. It's just the fact that shipping it is crazy, and nobody wants to spend $10 for something and then pay $16 to ship it. So I'm going to put a big star by this, Mary Ellen, and I'm going to ask about it again, because last time I brought it up to you all on Tuesday, there was a fair amount of positive feedback saying, yes, I'd be happy to buy 3 or 4 of them in one fell swoop if we can get it done. So I'm on it. I'll get back on it. Actually, I'm going to put it on the top of my Tuesday list for next week in my Tuesday morning meeting. Peggy Hoban says, I noticed that you were teaching a class at the CKC in Mesa. Are there any plans to teach at others? I plan to go to the one in St. Louis and would love to take the class. Not yet, not currently. There aren't any plans. And mostly that had to do with the fact that last year, when you have to start planning shows for this year, we weren't really sure what traveling was going to look like, how difficult it's going to be, all the weirdness going on. So, it probably won't be in 2022 that I start traveling and doing classes. It could be the year after that. So I love doing it. It's really inspirational for me. It is where I get the best ideas for new products, is actually talking to people one-on-one. I'm so looking forward to Mesa. being in the booth at Be Creative and getting your ideas and hearing your feedback on products, because it is key to how we develop products and what problems are out there that we need to solve. So if it's possible, I'm in. I'm doing it. All right. Deborah Panter says, I have Pioneer 3D ring photo albums. So Pioneer photo albums that have D rings that are extra deep, and they are 4 inches. So the album file for ring albums won't fit. Any chance of making something wider, please, and thanks for considering. You're right. They wouldn't fit, because I think the D-ring album box that we have now, as you've discovered, is only 3 inches wide, because that was kind of the standard when we came out with that. But I will definitely take a look at it and see what we can come up with. If you could also, if you wouldn't mind sending me the length measurement, this could be another, depending on how long it is, we might be able to get something that would fit that and would also fit maybe the 11 by 15 or the 11 by 17 paper. So then I've got some crossover in terms of uses for it, which means that it would have a bigger market. So that's always a good selling point when I'm trying to design something, like how, are there enough people who need this that it's going to be able to support itself in the marketplace. So if you don't mind, Deborah, giving me a few more dimensions on that, and you can email them to me at customerservice@totally-tiffany.com, and Leanne will get them to me. If you don't have it available in the moment to just post them here, please don't feel like you have to do that. You can just email them. That would be great. I don't have that. And for those of you who don't know, I live in the tiny little town in Arizona, and I'm not sure that you could buy a Pioneer photo album anywhere in town here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe CVS. We have a CVS store, but I don't know. I doubt that they probably have the pocket ones. But anyway, so it's a little bit harder to come by kind of basic stuff out here in the WIC. All right, Nora McDonald says, good afternoon, Tiffany. I love all of your products, especially the new hang and hold system, which was a hit at this weekend's crop. My question is, do you plan on making a bag that the bar can go in so that the pieces of the table attachments, mainly the little handles, do not get lost when traveling? Twice the little handle was lost in my car because the end came off, but all the pieces were found. I think what she's talking about is the little crank piece of the handle, and they have these little screw-on ends on them. So that makes sense. I don't know. I hadn't actually totally thought about people traveling with the hang and hold. I know we have a couple of accessories that we're kind of batting around to add to that line. And so I can definitely, that's definitely worth considering. The other thing that might work is, I don't know how you're transporting all the other bags, but I have a hang and hold on the front of my Cricut cart, right? So I have a paper storage cart, and I have the hang and hold on the front, and then I have the tool bucket on there for my Cricut tools and that kind of stuff. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I put my Cricut cables in an Edna bag or Merle bag. I think it's Edna, no flaps. And then I have this extra space on the bar. Well, when I took the cables out, the power cords, I just wrapped that buddy bag around the bar. And so I don't know if that would be helpful to you or not, to get one of the buddy bags, or maybe you have one that you could just Velcro around the bar and put the extra pieces and tools and other things in there. And then it will be kind of attached to the bar in the short term. But I think it's a great idea if we're going to focus on that hang and hold and do some expansion to the line. It might be great to have some sort of bag to transport it around and to keep it protected and all those kind of good things. So I will definitely put it on the list here of things to consider for hang and hold. Now I want to remind you, which I'm supposed to do at the beginning of our Tuesday live, and talk about the fact that if you want to get entered in this week's drawing, you do need to make a comment. That is how Colleen, she throws everybody's name in to a drawing that puts up a post. So make a comment. Tell us where you're from, what your favorite TT product is, how long you've been following along. If you have a problem right now, say I'm having trouble storing X, and you want to put that up as your comment, that would be great. That gives me two things. It gives me information about maybe products that are missing, And it also gives me an opportunity to answer those questions, because if you're having trouble storing or organizing something, somebody else probably is as well, which
I can't find the measurement. It's probably 12 inches.
is that the
Doodlebug fancy frills.
is it paper? What is it? Let me see. Please. Please.
They're cute.
Oh, I think they're 12 by 6 stickers. Oh, those are fancy frills. I don't know that that's the same thing as paper frills, though.
Oh.
So if fancy frills are what you've got a couple of solutions. If you're using a scrap rack, sorry, let me back up. This was the Doodlebug question. Jackie Knoll says, what storage would work best for Doodlebug paper frills? I have been trying to find the best way to store them. If you're talking about the 12 by 6 sheets of, I think they're stickers, what Susie just showed me, they're called fancy frills. If that's the same thing as a paper frill, which it could be, those are going to fit perfectly if you're using a scrap rack in the double extra long page. So of course, if you wanted to do a binder of the double extra long pages, if you're not using a scrap rack, you could use a double extra long pages in the 12 by 12 binder. That would work well. Also, this is the Kiwi Lane, and maybe Colleen could get a link up to it. This is the Kiwi Lane storage box, and it has a variety of pockets that come with it. Let me see if I have a single pocket in here, though. Let's see. Yes, I do. I see it. So this is a 12 by 6 pocket, and again, just something I say every week is that if I say it's 12 by 6, it means it's slightly larger than 12 by 6, so it actually holds 12 by 6 items. This is the single pocket, so you could easily store them in the Kiwi Lane storage box using that 12 by 6 pocket.
My bad. There we go.
Okay, let's see. Paper frills. What do we got here? Lemonade paper frills. Oh yeah, same thing. Those would probably still work. Yep. Those would probably still work. Same solution, right? Either the double extra long storage page in a binder, or you could use the, where did I put that pocket now? Or you could use this. Now, we did have, and maybe you could pull this up, Susie, on the Totally Tiffany website, the Kiwi Lane border pocket. So there used to be one, and I for some reason, I can't remember if we discontinued it or not when we came out with this one, that had a shorter pocket on the top and a bigger pocket on the bottom. And that would also work for your Kiwi Lane paper frills. So I think this is probably going to be a really good solution. I'm trying to think. And for those of you guys who tuned in last week or week before last, when we talked about the sneak peek of the 12 by 12 storage and supply case, that will also work, but that's a ways down the road. I think if you're not using a scrap rack, if you are using a scrap rack, no brainer, 12 by 6, double extra long pocket. This is a great solution, the Kiwi Lane storage case. Do you see it on there, Susie? The other one. Yeah, we may have.
There's a single pocket storage card.
Yeah, that's probably the best one in the moment for that, though. And then in the Kiwi Lane box. So hopefully Colleen can get a link up to everybody on that as well. That's a great way to store those. Okay, let's see. Debbie Watson, did your turquoise ditto bag, lowest bag, and trash can special from Instagram expire? Every time I click on it, the page said error. I think that was is that a 12 days of, what's the date today? Yes, probably. I think that was a 12 days of Christmas special. So we'll try to get it down from Instagram so that you stop clicking on it. I'm trying to think if there's another one of those bundles coming up. No, that was it. There was the one, we did one on Black Friday. It was different color. And then we did the 12 days in the turquoise. So sorry. Yes, it is expired. Okay, my friends, I'm going to get a drum roll here. I think we've answered all the questions, and we will, let me just take a quick look. Katie Koo, I talked about her cute shed and answered the questions about being overwhelmed and fab files. Yep. I think we're good. Okay, let's do it. Let's pick a winner. Now, if you're the winner, remember you have to reach out to prizes@crafterscompanion.com. And did I talk about Craft House? I did, right? So I hope you all join me tonight on HSN, on Suzanne Runyon's Facebook page on HSN, and then pop on into Craft House on Saturday. It's really, really a ton of fun. I feel like I'm forgetting
Thursday.
Something.
Michael's.
Oh, yeah. Dang. This is why Susie makes the big bucks. We do have the Michael's class on Thursday. So, if Colleen hasn't put a link up, I'm sure she will, but I'm teaching in kind of an overall Michael's class, like introduction to organization, which might be really helpful, Christine, as a refresher, because I'm going to talk about kind of getting your brain around getting organized at the beginning of the class. And then I'm going to talk about organizing your Michael's cart. So if you have one of the 3-tiered Michael's carts, I'm going to talk about how to organize that using Totally Tiffany products. Michaels.com is slowly adding the full line, we hope, of Totally Tiffany products to their website. So you'll be able to order from Michaels.com. Please keep in mind, when you look at the buddy bags on Michaels.com, they look really expensive. And that is because they are either 2-packs or 3-packs. So you're not just getting one. The way they're worded on there, it's not really clear until you get through the text that it is a multi-pack of 2 or 3 buddy bags. So if you look on there and go, oh, these are, $25, but they're only $8. If I buy them from Tiffany, it's because they are multi-packs on the Michaels website. So keep that in mind when you look at that pricing. So Colleen will put up a link to that class, but that will be on Thursday. It'll be my first class with Michael. So I hope you'll pop on in and join us for that class and support the Totally Tiffany brand at Michaels.com. Okay, let's talk about a winner though. Aisha says, just looking behind Tiffany makes me want to get my act together. Everything is in its place and properly labeled. Love it. It's very easy. But you know what? That's my whole deal, right? How easy is it? It's not glamorous. You look at some people's craft rooms, which is another thing. I'm going to take a side note here before I announce the winner. One of the problems with social media, Susie's laughing. Everything's perfect on social media, right? You see these beautiful craft rooms and everything is matchy. Everything's in little boxes that are colored and all that stuff. And in the real world, is it accessible? Is it visible? Can you pull it off your shelf? Can you use it? Can you find it? And that is really sort of what's different in my world over sort of, and I'm not saying that a beautiful craft room isn't lovely. It is. But if you're looking for function over form, if you really want to be able to craft, then having things super simple and easy to find, bring out and put back is the key for it. So, and that is my mission here, which you all see every week when I'm like, oh yeah, I've got that. I can just pull it off the shelf and use it. And also knowing that I can travel with it when that time comes, which are all things I'm going to talk about conveniently when I teach the class on Michaels.com on Thursday. So I hope you'll join me for that as well. Okay, drum roll. This week's winner, ding, 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 ding. Yolanda Sanchez. So Yolanda, congratulations. You've won a Totally Tiffany gift certificate. And all you need to do to claim your prize is reach out to prizes with an S at crafterscompanion.com and they will get you all hooked up. Just say, I am the Tuesday Tribe, Totally Tiffany Tuesday Tribe gift certificate winner this week. And they will add that to your account and you can shop away. So, all right, my crafty friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been wonderful to spend an hour with you as always on Tuesday morning, kind of the highlight of my week. Hope you all have a really crafty week. Get some organizing done and I will see you, somewhere else on the internet this week. Take care, everybody.